What's up, my people? Welcome to Vertical Football. Welcome to another episode of Fans Corner. I'm your host, Shegun. And guys, amazing breaking news from Fabrizio Romano that Bryan Mbeumo has given priority to Manchester United, and that three other clubs were interested, but Bryan Mbeumo has said he wants to talk. He wants to give priority to Manchester United. So guys, let's jump right into it. The reasons why I believe this is going to be an amazing deal for Manchester United if they can get it done. So guys, let's quickly go into it. The first thing I want to say is the fact that I had a very, very interesting quote from the CEO of Manchester United just a week ago, after the Malaysia All-Star game, I think around either before or after the game, where he gave me a very, very important phrase. I think you guys have also read the article where he said, we want to be prudent but ambitious. And I was like, this is a very, very important quote. This quote shows us into what Ineos, what the likes of Jason Wilcox, the likes of Omar Berrada will be doing in a transfer window. I feel these two words, prudent and ambitious, I think these two words are words that we cannot use to describe our transfer window for the past 10 years. We've not been prudent. Definitely, we've not been wise. Spending close to 100 million on Anthony, even though Anthony was a good player in the Eredivisie, but spending 100 million on Anthony is in no way wise. Spending 50, 60 million on the likes of Højlund, even the likes of Zexi, who had just maybe one good season in a foreign league, it's not prudent by any stretch of the imagination. Now, going to the other side of ambitious. We've not been ambitious because we've not gone for, we go for big names, but we don't go for big names even at the right time. When you want to be ambitious, but you go for a Casemiro that Real Madrid has used the better part of him, going for the likes of Varane when Varane is just, is already on the downward slope. So we have not been prudent. Clearly, we have not been ambitious. And when I hear the CEO saying we want to be prudent, but we want to do it with ambition, and I then see this transfer strategy that has been put in place by Ineos under the likes of Omar Berrada and Jesse Wilcox, this transfer strategy that has been brought forth by Ineos, this transfer window, the way we are looking at it, is not a new strategy. The transfer strategy brought up by Ineos is a strategy that partly was responsible for the success of Manchester United. What is the strategy? The strategy is based on what we are seeing in the likes of Kunwa, in the likes of even now Mbeumo. This is going for players who understand the league. Not just understand the league, players who have been successful playing in the league. Now, the question is, who else has done that? Sir Alex Ferguson did that, if you want to remember. I think Sir Alex Ferguson was notoriously known for that. Going for the likes of Berbatov, who was successful in a Tottenham side. Going for the likes of Rooney, who was bubbling in an Everton side. You're going for even the likes of Carrick from the likes of the West Ham or even Tottenham. So we see a track record during Sir Alex Ferguson's time of going for players who understand the league. That formed a base of his transfer activity. Van Persie, to remind you, Van Persie from Arsenal. And you see that the so-called, I know the academy gave some, because the transfer strategy of Sir Alex Ferguson was in 3 parts that academy gave some. And you can also see that in our squad today for Manchester United, when you see the likes of Kobe Mainoo coming up, you see the likes of Riamas coming up. These are nice youngsters coming up through the ranks currently. And then you see us going out to get young, promising internationals. Sir Alex Ferguson did that with the likes of Cristiano coming in, with the likes of Patrice Evra coming in, with the likes of Nemanja Vidic coming in. But we're also doing that right now with the likes of Leny Yoro coming in. Young, promising internationals, the likes of Patrick Dogu coming in. But another part that made a very, very solid foundation of the business Sir Alex Ferguson did over the years were the players that were well taught in the school of playing Premier League football. You see the likes of Ferdinand, as I said earlier, Van Persie, but now I think we are beginning to do that. We have academy, we have gone out to get promising youngsters, but now we are forming that base, which is players that understand the league. And guys, I want to say that in the aspect of from getting players that understand the league, I might be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong in the sense of you cannot name 5 players for the past 5 years in the Premier League or 4 years in the Premier League that you can really say when you want to point and say this is a Premier League player in the original sense of it. That's a young, vibrant Premier League player more than Bryan Mbeumo. Mbeumo to me, has always had the consistency in the league. Mbeumo to me represent what I call Mr. Premier League. This guy understands the league. He understands the league. And I think if Manchester United is able to get Bryan Mbeumo to the club, I know it's going to cost not of between 40 to 50 million pounds because he's a Premier League player. But if Manchester United is able to get that guy in, I'm telling you, as you all know, we are getting a player that truly understands the league. There is no ground that is strange to Bryan Mbeumo. There is no opponent that is strange to Bryan Mbeumo in the Premier League. He understands the league. He understands how to deal with the intensity of the league. He understands how to deal with the fitness demands of the league. He can score goal in the league. And I think it will be a very, very good one. Another thing about Bryan Mbeumo is I'm happy we're going in this angle because obviously there's no European football next season. So if you are getting likes of Kunwa that played for Wolves, getting Mbeumo that played for Brentford, at least they have one season to adapt to the league. To adapt to the club, to adapt to the club and not having to play so much games that they've not played before, by going for a European competition. So there is that one season that they can use to relax, get acclimatized to the club, get acclimatized to the club before, obviously and hopefully, next season, if there is an opportunity to qualify to the European competitions, and then we can now qualify. So I feel, for me, I've said it before, that was like off air, that for me, if Man United can sign Bryan Mbeumo, I will classify it as the biggest transfer. I know I know you guys know it, what this guy tends to bring to this team. This guy brings intensity. And I think, Amorim mentioned intensity. I'm just so excited. I want to hear deals advanced. I want to hear here we go for Bryan Mbeumo because I believe this, in my opinion, is a statement signing. When I had the news from Fabrizio, I don't know why. Maybe I still have to think deeply why I'm having that feeling, but I just have the feeling of remembering Sadio Mane from Southampton. I don't know why, but I hope Mbeumo can move from Brentford, who he has been very, very successful in Brentford, and come to Man United. And if he can have, the kind of performance, the kind of impact that Sadio Mane had from Southampton to Liverpool, I think I will be so much excited. Man United is starting the course that brought us success in the past by, as I said earlier, 3 things: the academy, getting young, promising internationals, and then forming a base with players that can perform, that understand the Premier League. Guys, so lastly, I think the new look of the Manchester United forward, I know we have to allow us to dream a bit, in the sense of the likes of Garnacho have been told to find a new club. Fabrizio has also broken the news that the likes of Rasmus Højlund is already in talks with a few clubs and about to go. And when you see replacing Garnacho, replacing Højlund with the likes of Kunwa and Mbeumo, I feel it's a massive upgrade. These guys understand the league. These guys were goal scorers in their clubs. These guys were players that you depended on for goals in their clubs. And I feel when you look at the likes of Garnacho from the academy, although promising but without character, when you look at the likes of Rasmus Højlund, these guys, wherever they were not so much depended on for goals. But we are bringing in, if we can't bring Mbeumo in, we are bringing in Mbeumo that Brentford will look onto for goals. You are bringing in a Matheus Cunha, Wolves looked onto for goals. So guys, these are my opinion on the recent news about Bryan Mbeumo to Manchester United. Please, if you have any opinion on this transfer, please judge up in the comment section. What are your opinions? Is it a good move?